Shadow, error, power levels keep rising. Shadow had no emotion present on his face, except for one unyielding rage. The Grimm stopped fighting and ran away, seeing the light, which puzzled the huntsmen. They also stopped fighting, but some continued battling what's left of the White Fang. Jaune. Hey, what's that light? Sonic and his team knows that light. Sonic. Oh ho ho ho, looks like Shad's just unlocked it. Tails. Hold on, Knuckles, you're back. Knuckles saw the glow and saw all of the Chaos Emeralds glowing bright. Nora. Pre-Edii. Grimm slaps her from being a moth to flames. Tira. They're beautiful. But why are they shining? Weiss. Look at the screen. They saw Jaune, now blonde and shining, as they also see the remains of Gamma strewn across the floor. Tails. Gamma.
Yang. Oh no.
Not him, and he was so nice. Blake. Guys, look. Sonic. Hey, who's the metal faker? Tails. Sonic, not the time, look. Ruby was rushing to Jaune as he raised his hand to stop her. Jaune. Ruby, stay out of this. This is my fight. Ruby. But, Jaune, you are the leader of Team Ruby. You have a responsibility for Blake and Yang. Ruby, you're a part of this team too. Jaune, I know. Trust me to deal with this. Ruby was shocked to hear Jaune raise his voice for the first time. She gulped, but knew she needs to lead, so she nods and jumps back. Metal Shadow glanced at her as he realigned his sights on Shadow. Metal Shadow, irrelevant. She will perish along with this kingdom. You. Shadow vanished from sight as he reappeared in front of him as he raised his hand and two fingers aimed at his reactor, and then Metal Shadow was sent through the arena and the empty side of the spectators area. Metal was flying through the air at top speeds as Shadow reappeared in front of Metal's path, and Metal couldn't get enough time to react as he was barraged by punches and kicks on all sides, and then with an axe kick, Shadow sent the automaton into a horde of Grimm in an open, empty road as he finishes off. Shadow crashed to Metal's location as we now see him picking up the remains.
Metal Shadow. Pau, In Kalku, Arrow.
Jaune. This is for Gamma. He raised his open hand into a claw as he rammed it into Gamma's reactor as he pulls out the emeralds. The light in Metal's eyes shuts down as he threw the husk to the ground. He chaos controlled out and back into the arena. The students all gawk at the glowing student. Yang. Man, you are bright. Blake. Not the time to joke. Tails lands from scouting from the skies. Tails. We got some breathing room. The Grimm all fled from that display. Knuckles. Ha. The Grimm are cowards. Sonic returned from kicking White Fang butts. Sonic. Hey, you went super like I did with Eggman. Jaune. You can transform too? Sonic. Yeah, check it out.
Nora. Ash.
Double shiny. Glinda. Jaune, what happened to you? Jaune. I don't know, but the emeralds seem to have given us great power. But they were surrounded by Atlas soldiers and Ironwood waltz in a commanding tone. Ironwood. Project Shadow, we have finally found you. Come with us now. Jaune. I don't take orders from you anymore. Glinda stood in front of them. Glinda. This boy is under the headmaster's protection. Ironwood. I suggest you take your goons and leave. Ironwood. He is Atlas property and he needs to follow orders. Then Atlas paladins arrived to intimidate Glinda, who stood firm. Then Team Ruby, Silver, and Blur stood by his side. Ruby, you want him? You have to go through us. Weiss. I won't stand by and let a friend of mine be bullied by the likes of you. You bring shame to the name Atlas. Sonic. You miss with one of us. Iron Scrap. You mess with all of us. Tails. Yeah. Knuckles. I will defend Shadow's honor. Yang. Go ahead, let me add damaging Atlas property on my resume. Blake, typical Atlas types. Nora, time to break some legs. Run. We're with you, Shadow. Ironwood, I have the numbers here, stand down. Then Team CFVY joined in along with SSSN, NDGO, CRDL, and BRNZ. The Paladins prepared their weapons until something crashed on top of them. It was a giant mech as they readied for a fight. Greetings, friends.
Jaune, où?
They saw Penny on top of the bot as the faceplate opens to reveal Dr. Polendina.
Jaune, Doc?
Pietro, why hello there, little Shadow, I guess the jig is up. He crushed the Paladins as the pilots ejected.
Ironwood, Pietro.
Pietro, I still have a bone to pick with you, you little miscreant. Then Penny's swords surround his neck. Penny, you won't harm my little brother. Ironwood, I still have my fleet. Then shots were fired as many of the Atlas fleet now burns as GUN Flying Fortress arrived with Winter on loudspeaker. Winter, this is the guardian units of nations. Atlas is no longer welcome in Vale. Then a large blade touched Ironwood's neck. Crow, damn, that Ice Queen has moxie. Jaune felt that the battle is still not over. Jaune, first to beat the most enemy wins? Sonic, you're on. The two flew up in the air and speed all across Vale, destroying every enemy they can find. Everyone, Woa. But they were back at Atlas' throats. The two heroes crushed Grimm, Atlas, and White Fang all over the place until Shadow felt a chill. He looked to the tower to see the Wyvern nurse, it's wound on top of it. Meanwhile, Beacon Tower. Ozpin lies dead on the ground as Cinder was preparing to burn his body. Before she could have a chance, a flash of light flew across from her as a giant chaos spear blew the Wyvern to really tiny pieces. Shadow lands on the tower as he found his grandfather's body bloodied and broken. Cinder, all the so-called ultimate lifeform. Jaune stared at Ozpin blankly. Cinder, I must admit you are indeed pal. Then a chaos spear blew her right arm off. Cinder, GAAH. Her pained howl filled the burning night skies. This was almost over.